How funny was Drax?
Ooh.
How funny was Drax?
I mean, all the Guardian people are so funny, but Drax was murdering it.
So funny.
His parts were so well written. It was just like, and like you said, porting essentially that humor, that character from that series of movies into this series of movies, and it worked perfect. Like the standing there scene where he's like, he's like, how long have you been standing there?
The art of standing still and
it's
not
like an
being
hour. It's so ridiculous. Drax is great.
He's not a dude. You're a dude. He's a man. That was like one of his first lines in the movie, and it's just his delivery. Like if I look at those lines on script, they'd seem so basic, but the delivery he has with the character is just like not at all. It's just like so matter of fact. Like you're just a dumbass, and I have no regard for what I'm saying. Or where is Gamora? Who is Gamora? Why is Gamora? What are you talking about, you dumbass?
Yeah, he says it all very, very flat and
Dry.
very seriously and dry and very deadpan is kind of like that whole style of that character. Is to just be wrong, but be like so positive about it that's okay. Which makes some of his decisions later more understandable, I think, as well. So the it's not just he's a dumb lug jock. It is like really a part of his entire character.
Dan, expectations when you were going into the movie? Like, I'd only seen that trailer, and what were you expecting, man?
I didn't know. Honestly, I was scared, and I was feeling like it's so easy to fuck this up. And for some reason, I just wasn't thinking about it until literally because of work stuff, we were watching the trailer a lot. And the music got into my head, and suddenly I realized, oh my God, I'm going to see Infinity War, and like what that means, and the amount of time that's gone into it, and everything. And I was just really excited. It was one of those movies that I was genuinely super giddy in the theater to go and see. And so my expectations were just, I want to have fun, and I hope this movie is fun.
Yeah.
And then there's Bruce Banner in the Hulk Smasher, or the Hulk
Iron Man's Hulk outfit.
What is it called? It's the
I don't know. He used it to fight the Hulk, right?
Yeah, it's the Hulk Smasher, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And his head is like floating there, and the lighting's all weird, and it's like whatever company dealt with the roto of attaching heads to other bodies just did a really bad job.
Proxima Midnight, fun fact, is actually the wife of Corvus Glaive. Like that's something you never know in the movie, but those henchmen,
you can kind of tell they have a
were like
relationship.
married. Yeah, I think she helps him or like wants to avenge him, so you kind of see it, but there is a bit of lore, so it's a cool comic shout out. Ebony Maw and Cull Obsidian, who's also known by Black Dwarf, which I guess they don't use Black Dwarf at this day and age, but he's like that big motherfucker. Anyways,
the big motherfucker.
Yeah,
the guy with the axe thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of all those people, I would say that Ebony Maw was fucking amazing, and that I wish there was more of him. It was a shame he died first. His powers were cool. Fun fact about him is that in the comic series, Ebony Maw actually has no powers at all. None. No telekinesis at all. His only way is by talking. He's actually talked his way and manipulated his way into controlling people like Doctor Strange.
I think it's a fun, interesting way of shooting that so often we shoot people, large for small, and that's like pretty normal, whether it's like the Hobbits, making them all seem small by having tiny furniture and kind of doing weird stuff with Gandalf for scale. But here, you're shooting a dwarf, and you're making him seem like a giant. And so there must be, like, I was looking at the set, and he's like leaning against his table, and I was like, that must be a really tiny table, because they're making him seem gigantic next to it. And then they're like, they're messing with his voice, and they're doing all his funny scale stuff, but it's just like a totally crazy way of approaching a character that's a giant. I'll say one thing about Scarlet Witch that kept throwing me off is these fucking mom jeans that she was wearing. I don't really, like,
Whoa,
yeah,
those are up there.
Like, there's nothing wrong with wearing mom jeans, but she's a, really badass, beautiful person, and then you just see this pooch kind of staring at you in the face, and it's like a really ugly pug that somebody's making you pet. Like, you just you want it to be a fun experience, and it just is not that great.
Yeah, just don't look at the giant 2-foot zipper crotch she's got going there. There's this crazy thing where, and ultimately what may happen is the only person who's going to beat him is himself. And while Thanos is going through this whole thing, he recognizes that he's also the one that's not worthy of holding all of this power. So when he ends up losing it, he kind of almost has a sense of relief in some way.
Oh, dude, is that too heady?
It's pretty heavy. So I don't know what they're going to do in the cinematic universe to kind of make this resolve, but I imagine it's going to be something about him taking himself down. Or Adam West, not Adam West.
Batman. 1960s Batman comes out.
The other Adam hero, Adam Warlock, will show up.
What is that?
Okay, here we go, Dan.
Woo! Thorin. Thanos reads in this movie. Like, he is, you forget that he is a purple monster that Josh Brolin is playing. You don't care. You just see Thanos, and you're just really watching that.
Yeah.
And I think that is an amazing achievement and an incredibly difficult thing to do. And that scene with Gamora is like the ultimate payoff of all of this. Because, and it's a super delicate kind of acting experience. You have to be this evil, monster, terrible thing, but also be sensitive, caring, loving, like,
and they
sad.
do that all within this. Like, before that, like, I want to say right before that very, like, intense scene
in the throne room,
he's like torturing Nebula on the side, right? Like, she's all split apart and shit. He's like, "Oh, that's your sister, by the way. I'm torturing her right now. So tell me the stone. Where the stone is." So there he's evil as fuck. Especially for people who don't know who he is, they need to right away establish that he is the biggest, baddest motherfucker in this movie. So in one of the first fights, it's a Hulk and Thanos throwdown.
Yeah.
And for the first 10 seconds, 10, 15 seconds, Hulk is got the upper hand. You're like, good shit. But then for the next, like, minute and a half, it's all Thanos beating the ever-living Christ out of the Hulk.
He's so fast.
And it was just amazing. And you could see, like, he was just enjoying it.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing.
It was cool because it was like, you see the Hulk be so powerful and strong and amazing, and then in a moment just look so weak because suddenly this other guy is stronger than him, faster than him, more powerful than him. Like, just like that, you know?
And to do that to the Hulk, and I imagine from the comic perspective especially, is like, that is what? Like, no, who can hang with the Hulk? Like, this guy is lifting, holding buildings, and throwing shit. Like, he is known as one of the strongest.
As these movies go on, I hate his Bruce Banner more and more.
Really? Yeah.
I hated it in Thor Ragnarok when we saw a lot of it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, I found it to be just one of the weakest, most low points of the entire movie is watching Mark Ruffalo be a nerdy Bruce Banner.
I will definitely agree that there had been a noticeable change in the Hulk character, even just from the first Avengers to Ragnarok. Like, Ragnarok, he felt really interesting, really just kind of like, what's happening, and kind of comical almost, and awkward.
He was a loon.
Yeah, and in this movie, it was kind of a mix, and just overall, I don't know. Yeah, I just didn't even acknowledge him too much because anytime I saw him, it was like at the beginning, I'm like, okay, cool. He set the bar for Thanos to be a badass, and then every time I saw him after that, he was in that suit, and it just looked kind of funny.
He's so weird. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, not very good. And I love Mark Ruffalo. 13 going on 30. That's one of my movies. All right. I want to just talk really quickly about something they did that's cool. We watched the trailer.
Okay.
It's a big thing going on right now. Discussion about how they planted false narratives in the trailers.
Yeah.
And they had scenes that were altered or completely non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
So non-existent scenes happen all the time, but like one that was crazy in this that really stands out is when they are all running at the end in the Wakanda forest, and the Hulk is there as the Hulk running in the forest. Guess what, guys? Sorry, spoilers. No, Hulk is in the movie for like 2 minutes in the beginning, and then it is Bruce Banner the entire time.
Yeah.